Hi all, Councillor Ross McWilliams here. I'm out today with Phil Haseler, weekend before Election Day on the 2nd of May. And this is the fourth in our series of videos unpacking our key priorities to Cox Green and setting out our commitments. Today's video is about defending our precious green belt and securing infrastructure upgrades. In Cox Green we are blessed with beautiful green open spaces and we are sort of on the cusp of the countryside, and many of us move to this area and enjoy walking around, in and around the countryside, and it's critical that that we protect that. And it's also important that we provide and secure investment to deliver new infrastructure upgrades as well. So we're just going to set out our commitments now on that key priority.
So here we are, we've got the 48-acre Greenbelt site behind us. It's Grade 2 agricultural land, and there are 3 planning applications currently being dealt with by the local authority with regards to Clares Court School expanding. That's bringing all 3 school sites to this one site, 157 Berkeley homes and Maidenhead Hockey Club. They also wish to build a large 2-storey pavilion, 2 AstroTurf pitches and floodlights. Now, in my view, this is overdevelopment of this wonderful Greenbelt site. It's Grade 2 agricultural land. It was assessed by RBWM in 2016 as very strong greenbelt, and also in 2016 assessed in the Housing Economic Land Availability Assessment as undevelopable for 15 years. Now the quantum and spread of all of these proposals is just way too much. It's going to have a severe negative impact on the greenbelt. It's going to affect the openness and countryside character. It's going to cause urban sprawl. It's going to join up the urban area of Maidenhead, Cox Green, with Woolly Green. And then of course we're one step closer to then joining Maidenhead with Littlewick Green, and the residents of that area, they don't want this either. So Clares Court is a great school, it's a great project, it's a great business plan, but it really is not the right location for it. The infrastructure cannot meet the needs of this development. The roads, Cannon Lane is already over capacity, so to increase the school by over 5 times the size is going to have a severe negative impact not only on Cannon Lane and Cox Green, but also the surrounding areas. The road engineering that they propose will not mitigate the traffic congestion. One large roundabout at the junction of Farmers Way and the entrance to the school will not mitigate the traffic flow that we anticipate to come from this. I've already outlined the fact that this was assessed by RBWM under the Greenbelt Purpose Assessment and the Housing Economic Land Availability Assessment, and because of the way that they assessed it as being unsuitable for development, it hasn't been included in the borough plan. So this is another big argument. So all of the local residents that have been campaigning with the Cox Green Says NO campaign, all of their objections have been constructive, objective, policy-based and evidence.
Absolutely, Phil. I know you've been doing some fantastic work leading Cox Green Says NO, and you're dead right. They have been relentless in their basing their arguments on policy and defending this land against inappropriate overdevelopment. And Phil touched on an important point there around infrastructure. Now, we all know that we do need to build houses in the local area. There are some in Cox going to be built in Cox Green and also around Maidenhead as well. And the key point is that if we're going to build those homes, they have to have the right infrastructure around them. So if we're going to start building lots of new homes, we have to make sure the road infrastructure is in. We have to make sure that there's appropriate investment in our health facilities, new health facilities if necessary, or expanding, enhancing the existing ones. In some locations we need to look at expanding our schools further. If we're going to start building more homes, there's going to be more children. They're going to need somewhere to go to school. Unfortunately, behind me, and the Clares Court site isn't an appropriate location. So if we're going to build new schools, we have to make sure they're in the appropriate locations as well. But having infrastructure is key to supporting any new house building. So from my point of view and from Phil's point of view, any new developments that come forward, whether they be in Cox Green or they be strategic sites in Maidenhead in a wider area, it's important, and we're going to be taking very seriously the infrastructure upgrades that they propose as part of that development. And we'll make a decision based on whether or not we think what they're proposing is sufficient.
Yeah, Ross is absolutely spot on with what he's just said there. Yes, we do need housing. Population's getting larger. We need housing, but we need them in the appropriate locations. I want my children and grandchildren to get onto the housing ladder, and don't we all? But it's important that they're in the right locations with the right infrastructure in place to make the town and the borough work freely, work well, be efficient.
Phil's absolutely right. We need new homes in the local area. You know, We don't want people to have to move away because they can't afford to live here, leaving friends and family and breaking up communities just because the cost of living is too high. So it's really important that, that we build those new homes in the appropriate locations with the right infrastructure in place. Which is why, to wrap it up, one of our key priorities is to defend our green belts against inappropriate development and overdevelopment like the one in the location we're standing in front of. Also to make sure that where we are building new homes, which we do need, that they're in the appropriate locations with the right infrastructure in place. So on the 2nd of May, which is this Thursday, if you vote for Ross McWilliams, myself and Phil Haseler, you can count on us to defend the green belt, to make sure that when applications come forward, they've got the right infrastructure in place.